So today we're going to be talking about Yousician. Basically, this is a review of Yousician and my real honest thoughts about it. Any problems that the app has, I'll address that. Anything good about the app, I'll address that. Nothing is getting left out here. There's absolutely no bias here. So let's get started. This is kind of a Q&A session as well. I've had many people ask me different questions about Yousician and how I learned guitar, and I've included a lot of those questions in this. How does it work? There's a couple ways that it works. You can either plug your guitar straight into your computer and play it that way, or you can allow the computer to record you via microphone. Now, I use the direct plug-in method for one simple reason, and that is note recognition. When you plug a guitar straight into your computer, it eliminates any kind of background noise. So all the software is getting is strictly what's coming from your guitar. So with that being said, this is the most accurate. How good is Yousician at teaching? Well, I've been using Yousician for a while now, and I've noticed that with this app, I have a lot more motivation to pick up my guitar and play. For one, the app is actually pretty fun. It's not exactly a game like something like Rocksmith, but it's still a lot more entertaining. The user interface is actually quite pretty. I find that it captures my attention a lot better than, say, going to a Tabs website and having to find a backing track that I can use and all that. So what about the lessons? Well, the lessons are actually pretty good. I've had a couple of issues with there being songs at a certain skill level that actually require a lot more skill than you would normally have at that point. There's a couple of songs that are, 2 or 3 notches below my current skill level, and I still can't play them. I don't know how they judge their songs and give them that 1-14 rating, but I think it needs a little bit of work. Does it teach theory? Yes, it does actually. There's not a lot to it, but there is a theory branch in Yousician that you can see is only up to level 6 right now. And I'm really hoping that they add more to this, especially in teaching you things like what is the wheel of fifths and stuff like that. Even up until recently, I found it very difficult to grasp that part of the theory. The theory branch in Yousician, they call it the knowledge branch. And in this branch, they have things like ear training, they have different scales that you can learn, they teach you things like timing, and all sorts of stuff. But like I said, it only goes to level 6, and I'm really hoping they add more to it, because I really enjoyed doing the knowledge course on Yousician. It was actually one of the first things I tried to do, and it would be fantastic to take that even further. Do I have to start from the beginning if I already know how to play the guitar? No, you don't actually. There are skill tests on every level that you can go to, and if you take and pass those skill tests, you can skip everything before that. Is there a practice mode? Yeah, there is. Whenever I play Yousician, I'm usually doing it in practice mode. I find that it's a lot more convenient this way, because if I mess up on a part, or if I need to learn how to play one certain segment of a song, I can narrow down what part of the song plays to that specific part, and I can play it over and over and over on a continuous loop. And there's also a tempo scale, so I can bring down the tempo all the way to 25%, and I can bring it all the way up to 125%. Is it free? Yes, it is. But if you want to have unlimited lesson time or premium songs, then you'll need a subscription. Now, is the subscription worth it? Well, that's really up to you. Do you want to invest the time into learning guitar to make the standard subscription worth it? The premium subscription, which is what you'll need to play premium songs, are there currently songs on there that you want to play to make it worth it? I find that yes, it's definitely worth it for me, especially as they're adding more and more popular songs. Now the lesson time, whenever they limit it, what they actually do is they will still let you play it, but the note recognition will be cut off. So it'll no longer tell you if you hit the notes or not. I don't find that this is a huge issue because most of the time I'm not really paying attention to that anyway. I can tell whenever I hit the right note or not. Does it have licensed or popular songs? Slowly but surely they are adding more. Right now they have probably about 100 songs, and a lot of them are classic rock. Some of them are 2000s-ish pop, and those aren't really things that I want to play, but I am interested in playing. And the songs that it does have, they're not super popular. I think the most popular song I noticed on there was Kryptonite by 3 Doors Down. And that's not a song that I really want to play anyway. The best song on there right now that I do want to play is I Stand Alone by Godsmack. What extra features does it have? Well, it does have a built-in tuner, which is a lot better than the tuner that you can get on other websites where you have to match up your note with a tone. Yousician's tuner will actually tell you what your current note is at, and it'll tell you where you have to go in order to tune it. Some more extra features are the workouts. On the workouts page, it has things like chord trainers and scales and arpeggios and stuff like that. So that's definitely a place that you want to check out as you grow in learning guitar. Does it teach more instruments than guitar? Yes, it does. It has piano, bass, ukulele, and they even just recently added voice to it. So now you can learn how to sing. How are the quality of songs? The songs themselves are actually very good quality. I've never noticed any sort of distortion with the recording quality. I've never noticed any static or anything like that. So the recording quality is very good. However, in pretty much every song that I've played on Yousician, the lyrics are garbage. They are really not good. I don't know who Yousician has writing lyrics for them, but they probably need to be moved to another department. Does it start you off on incredibly hard songs? No, the very first songs that you learn with Yousician are very, very easy, where you're just plucking one string and that's it. You'll find that that gets pretty boring very quickly because it's so easy. As far as the increments and stepping up your skill after that, it does a pretty good job. I've noticed that as I go into the next skill, I'm pretty ready for it by the time I get there, especially if I stay at the previous skill and try to master it one song at a time. Does it use tablature or sheet music? Actually, it uses either one you want or both at the same time. In the settings menu in Yousician, you can change which one it uses. So if you already know how to read sheet music, you can do it that way. If you are just learning guitar and you have never been introduced into music before, especially with sheet music, then tablature is the way to go. It also has a setting on there where it can show you the notes of each string that you play, like A, B, C, and so on. Why is there so much controversy about Yousician? Well, this is a pretty complicated question. Most of what I think it is people who already know how to play the guitar quite well. They see it as doing it a different way and an easier way, and they think since it's easier, it's not as good, which I do agree with that. It is definitely not as good as learning with a music teacher. I don't agree with just telling people that they're blatantly wrong for using Yousician. There's more to the story. It's not just black and white. There's an awful lot of people out there that don't live in a major city with a music instructor. I came from a small town in the backwoods in Indiana, and the nearest music teacher was probably a good 50-minute drive away. So to tell people, no, don't use Yousician, just go to the music teacher, it's better, that's not always the case. I mean, I would be paying $20 just for gas. And then the extra wear and tear on my vehicle, the extra time going there, it's just not an option for some people. Yousician is available to everybody who has internet, which I think we can all agree that most of us do. Now, I am not saying that it is better. I am not saying that it is 100% what you need to become a great guitarist. What I am telling you is it is a great way to get started in playing guitar. If I didn't have this app, I definitely would not have progressed like I did. I tried a lot of things before I went ahead and got Yousician. I tried beginner lessons on YouTube, but I noticed that a lot of those were a little difficult for me when I started out. Another part of the controversy is, well, you know, Yousician, it can hear your notes, but how does it know you're playing with the correct technique? It doesn't. Yousician is made to hear notes. That's it. It can't see what you're doing to achieve those notes. So if you're playing a chord and you're doing it wrong and you have bad technique, then it's not going to pick up on that. As long as you're hitting the notes, then it'll say you're doing fine. This is why I think it's still good to have people that you can go to who know how to play guitar already, and you can play with them and maybe they can show you some of the things that you're doing wrong. One more thing about the controversy. I noticed that a lot of it are people that are signing up for the free trial, and they don't realize that when they do that, they're actually signing up for the subscription. This is the way that a lot of free trials actually work. You basically sign up for a subscription and you get 30 days free. If at the end of the 30 days you don't want to use it anymore, then you have to cancel it. Now, a lot of people didn't read the fine print, so they ended up paying for the subscription. So guys, keep in mind that whenever you sign up for any service that requires a debit or credit card, they're going to charge you unless you cancel it. This is not just Yousician. This has been around for years, and I don't know why everybody is giving Yousician such a hard time about it. When you give a credit card number, that is basically saying, yes, I agree that you are going to charge me, because why else would you require a debit or credit card number? And it's a free trial. When the free trial is over, what did you think? You're just going to have to sign up again? No, you already signed up. Now you have to cancel. That's the way every subscription service I've had works. That starts off with a free trial. Things like Netflix, Hulu, Slacker, Pandora, all of these, they all use free trials. And at the end, if you don't cancel, they charge you. Is it better than guitar lessons? No and yes. No, because of what I talked about before with the technique thing. Yes, because for one, it's cheaper. And for two, it is readily available whenever you want to play. So you go to a guitar teacher and he will teach you a couple things about guitar. He'll teach you how to kind of play along a little bit, and that's pretty much it. He'll send you home with maybe a riff to do or a certain song to learn, and you'll come back and all you will have learned is that one song. However, if he's physically there to show you everything on the guitar, you're going to understand it better than with something like Yousician, where you can't really ask questions. You have to do all the research yourself, or you have to learn it yourself. Having feedback is a big part of playing guitar, and I'll be honest, I don't get a lot of that. I don't have people who tell me, yes, that was good how you played that, or no, that was bad how you played that. You messed up on this part here, did you notice that? You need to have those people in your life to tell you where you're screwing up so that you can fix it. Can I master the guitar with Yousician? Probably not. And for the same reason that we talked about before, the lack of feedback on technique. If you're not playing a guitar with the right technique, then it'll be almost impossible for you to be able to progress to the point where you feel like you're a master. Which is better, musician or rocksmith? Well, I'm actually going to make a video about this in the near future, so stick around and check that out. So what premium songs are available right now? Well, let me go to Yousician and see. Alright, here's American Girl by Tom Petty, Brown Eyed Girl by Van Morrison. I'm just naming off a few here that I can recognize. Californication by Red Hot Chili Peppers, Dirty Little Secret by the All American Rejects, Do It Again by Steely Dan, Every Rose Has Its Thorn by Poison, and there's a lot more than that. I'm not going to go through the list and read them all off to you. Let's go to Do It Again by Steely Dan. I'll show you what these songs sound like. If you notice, it says Made Famous by Steely Dan. Now, this means that it's not the actual song that Steely Dan made. I'm not sure why they couldn't just use the actual song and why they had to make it their own, but in a lot of these premium songs, it is noticeable. But here's one thing you gotta remember. Whenever you learn how to play this song here, you'll be able to play it elsewhere. So you can go to YouTube and find the video where it's actually Steely Dan, and you can play along with it. So I emailed Yousician the other day about playing one of their premium songs. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to do any copyright infringement with it. And they basically told me, yes, that's fine, as long as you don't modify the interface. So because they told me not to modify the interface, I'm going to go ahead and play along with this next song, but I'm not going to be able to put what I'm doing over it. So I'm just going to play a little snippet of this song so that you guys can see what it's all about. How good are the non-premium songs? Well, the non-premium songs, there are quite a few good ones, but they're hard to find, especially at the beginning when you first start learning. When you first start learning, you'll see that there's a lot of like techno type of music that is not very well put together. There's a lot of classical music, and it's just generally things that I did not have in mind when I picked up playing guitar. This is one thing that I definitely think Yousician needs to improve, is the songs that they choose to use throughout the curriculum. Once you get right around level 4 or 5, the options start becoming a lot wider. I was finally able to find a decent heavy metal song at level 4, but it took me a while to get there. You know, I just do this as a hobby. I don't practice for 8 hours a day. So yeah, it took me probably a couple months to get there. So guys, that was my honest thoughts on Yousician. If you have anything that you would like to ask me or add to what I had to say, feel free to post it down in the comments. And stick around next week and I will pit Yousician against Rocksmith. I'll see you there.